friends, I'm Danny. Welcome to my channel. I am a small home baker, mostly focused on sourdough. I also have a recipe blog, and today I wanted to share with you some of my favorite sourdough tools that I could find on Temu. So I buy probably most of my sourdough tools from Temu, considering how expensive it can get when you try and buy it locally. So I wanted to share some of my favorite finds for sourdough that I use every day, and yeah, let's get started. So my most recent purchase is this bag of plastic baskets. So I wanted to see if I can find a cheaper alternative to the wood bannetons, which can get really expensive. I've also bought wood bannetons from Temu and they work fantastically, and they are significantly cheaper than I could find locally. These ones are plastic bannetons. They are a bit shallow. I have a hairnet that I put on here, so without the hairnet they look like this, and I wanted to give it a shot and see if they would work to cold proof my bread. So I've tasted them and they actually work really well. The one downside I do see in them though is if you do bake on a large scale and you want to stack them in the fridge during cold proof, I can see that being a little bit more tricky than it would be with the wood pulp bannetons, which are quite sturdy and have higher edges. These ones might not stack as well during the cold proof, but for, I think this whole bag of 14 was 460 Rand or somewhere around there, and it's a no-brainer for me to stock up on these, so I highly recommend that. The next tool I want to share with you is my lamb. So this one, you can see I regularly use them all, so they're a bit dirty, but this is my lamb. So this is one of the round ones. I'm not sure what you call them, but the round ones that you attach over here. This one's got a pretty decoration on and it's been working really fantastic. They also come with an extra bit of blades and this nice little pouch that you can store it in when you're done. Really nice. Then my next recommendation, which I actually haven't used in all my years of sourdough baking, but that I really enjoy now, is a Danish dough whisk. So this one is really sturdy. It has a plastic handle, so this is not going to get moldy, and it works really well for that initial mix when it's just whether you're auto-leasing, so just your flour and some of your water, or when you do it all together. It's really nice just to prevent your hands from getting dirty a little bit sooner. So really nice. The next essential item is the bench scraper. This one is a one with rounded edges. I know you also get the rectangular ones. I just find that this one fits nicely in my hand and feels really natural, so I prefer this one. Really nice. In terms of sourdough starter, so there's two things that I cannot live without for my sourdough starter. The one is my little baby whisk. It's really small, and I use this when I refresh my starter. I just add in the water, whisk through the starter and the water until the starter is nice and dissolved into the water, and then I add the flour. Life-changing, really nice. The second thing is a small silicone spatula that is strong. So I have had other ones in the past, and they quite flimsy. These specific ones work really well. They are nice and narrow, so they fit very nicely in a jar, and you can really scrape down the sides nicely and do your little stretch and folds with your starter, as I usually do, to build some gluten in my starter. Very nice. I can't live without this. Very nice. Then we have for actual baking. So I'm someone who likes to reduce waste wherever I can, and if you bake a lot of loaves, you know that you're going to use a lot of parchment paper or baking paper, and you can reuse them maybe one time, but they generally burn a bit and become brittle. So I found that these non-stick, I think they're Teflon sheets, and I know there's some controversy with regards to Teflon, but I really like these. I usually cut a sheet like this in half like this. Then I have two separate smaller ones to put my loaves on. They do not stick at all. I don't use any extra flour or anything like that. I load the bread straight on, score it, and then bake it on these sheets and they work fantastically. So highly recommend this, also really inexpensive. Okay, then in sourdough baking, temperature management is really, really important. So whether that be the ambient temperature, the temperature of your dough, and the temperature of your oven or cast iron pot or whatever you choose to bake in. So in terms of temperature management, the first thing I really, really love and use every day, I have 2 of these. The one I put inside my fridge to actually monitor that my fridge is at the right temperature for the cold proof, and I can check if my fridge is maybe a little bit warmer because it's been opened and closed a lot. I know that I need to cut my cold proof shorter. So this is like a little room thermometer. And the other one I put on my windowsill next to my sourdough starter to monitor the ambient temperature. So really, really great. Then I have this probe thermometer. This one has seen better days, but it has amazingly stayed working. I've actually dropped this in oil before while I was deep frying something, but surprisingly it has still lasted me a really, really long time. And this one I use to measure my dough temperature in the center of my dough. This one is not a quick read, but it doesn't bother me at all. I just stick it in there, wait a few seconds for it to come up to temperature so that I know what is my internal dough temperature in order to more accurately predict how long my dough should be bulk proofing. Really nice. Then lastly, this has been a really, really nice game changer for me to be able to determine my oven temperature better. So I've transitioned recently in the last few months to open baking on a baking steel. So I use this laser thermometer in order to measure the temperature of my baking steel before loading it, and I usually aim for something like 270 to 280 degrees Celsius. Then I know my baking steel is nice and hot and ready for me to load my bread. So really nice. This is instant read. You point it, it reads the number, and you don't waste any time losing temperature when you open and close the oven repeatedly. Very, very nice. Love this. Another thing that I always use when loading my breads, or if you're using a Dutch oven, you really want something to protect your hands so that you don't burn. These gloves are amazing. So I specifically chose them because they do come a little bit higher up the arm, because I don't know about you, but when I tend to stick my arm in the oven, it always gets burnt around here. So these ones are nice and long. They come quite high up, and they are like double layered, really thick. I haven't burned myself at all. These work really, really nice. So highly recommend these for your oven gloves. They also have little hooks. So I hang mine up right next to my oven for easy access. So the links for all of these items that I've shown you will be down in the description if you want to have a look. They are all from Temu. They are affiliate links, so if you do buy through my link, I do get a little bit of commission, and it's an amazing way of supporting me if you want to do that. If not, just go onto Temu, search for these items. There are hundreds of alternatives for each of these, and I'm sure you'll find something you love. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will be uploading more long form sourdough content, trying to get comfortable in front of the camera, and share more sourdough related things with you all. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments if you like this kind of video and maybe what else you want to see from me. Thank you so much. Bye.